morning, everybody, and happy Monday. Happy Monday after open enrollment. You made it through. You did all the hard work. You get the 15th hit. We worked till as late as we could, and then we finally got the weekend to rest, right? We finally got those times down to relax. If you're still on relaxing mode right now, well, I bet you earned it, so enjoy it while you can. We're about to hit the big holiday season, which is, traditionally when we sold through it, was kind of a slower time. So right now, we should enjoy our little bit of time down that we have and, kind of pat ourselves on the back a little bit. That being said, one of the biggest questions I always get right after open enrollment is, why did so many of my customers choose to go elsewhere, switch, or cancel, right? How did my retention be so bad? I had one of my agents, very first year, open enrollment, absolutely just killed it on the front end in sales, just absolutely killed it, and lost about 40% of his business. And he was sitting there wondering why. So we did a pretty deep dive and kind of figured out some things. So today I thought I'd do some quick hints since, this is going to be the last Motivation Monday of the year. Keep it kind of light, kind of simple for us, but just give us some hints on how to retain customers. So we can start with a pretty good quote there. So every contact we have with the customer influences whether or not they'll come back. We have to be great every time or we'll lose them. And that's the absolute truth when it comes to retention. You can do a really good job on the front end, but all of a sudden, if your client has a question, you have no idea. They're going to say, you know what, the person I'm working with maybe isn't the most knowledgeable, and now's my time to switch. One of the things you have to change in your mind is kind of what you consider yourself. No, do you consider yourself an agent or do you consider yourself a career agent? Are you trying to do this for long term, build that book of business, build up maybe an agency under you, training some agents, and have a pretty good life that way? There's a lot of great things you can do with that. If that is what you want, you really have to work with this quote here. So every contact we have with the customer influences whether or not they'll come back. We have to be great every time or we'll lose them. So kind of let that resonate a bit with you. That being said, happy Motivation Monday, everybody, if we can get that one to load there. So perfect. If this is your first Motivation Monday, kind of a hard one to be your number one on there because this is the last one of the year, but let's go through quick. It'll go tip of the week. We'll take a look at the trends, take a look at our sales leaders, and of course, in the end with the sales technique. So the tip of the week the previous week was just to remind everybody, hey, you know what? We actually have a YouTube page, and I can tell you, it definitely made a difference. The numbers on the YouTube went up pretty quick. So that YouTube page does have all of the previous Motivation Mondays. So if there's something that you missed, feel free to take a look at that. Also, all product training that we have done is also posted out on there. And then there's just some pretty friendly sales tips. So feel free to go out to that YouTube page. Easiest way to find it is just in the search there for YouTube. Just type in AHCP. We're going to be one of the first ones that pops up. The tip of the week for this week, again, I told you we're going to keep this a little light. The tip of the week for this week is going to be, there are no Motivation Mondays there on the 25th or the 1st. Those are both Mondays. We will not be having those. Those offices are actually closed. We will be back on the 8th. And then on the 15th, it's actually Martin Luther King Day and the offices are closed yet again. So we will have one on the 8th, take it off on the 15th, and then we will be back up and running to a pretty normal pace there. So just to let you guys know, that is the tip of the week is, you know what, enjoy your time off, enjoy kind of lighter weather. Hopefully everything's going good. Also, hopefully nobody was affected horrible by that, the craziness that happened in the Atlanta airport with all the power shutting off and all these horrible travel times. So if you're traveling for the holidays, I hope it's happening this week. So taking a look at what our trends are, you know what, one thing that I've noticed really is we've been up and running and I had a pretty healthy sales rate. Keep in mind, these trends aren't actually for all of last week. They're mostly for the week before as well. So there's really no change in short-term medical, no change there in those fixed benefits. We've had a really great sales numbers. So with the short-term medical, of course, we lead mainly with Nat Gen. With the fixed benefits, we've been leading a lot with VBA, a pretty good partner of ours there. Accident sales, we had a gigantic increase in accident sales, which makes me really happy to see, because what we're doing is we're pairing them properly there with the major medicals and making sure our clients have the number one supplement that they're going to use the most, obviously other than dental. The accident products are really great and customers always give us really great feedback on it. Taking a look as well, we had a really great increase in critical illness, but not as great as accident, leading mainly with CBL, of course, with Nat Gen. And in dental, we really had no change because we have been hitting some of our dental sales records lately. So no change there, but we've been doing pretty good in them, selling a lot of the golden rule. I know the NatGen PPO dental is one of the things that we've been selling quite a bit of. They're looking to increase their footprint on that too. So if you're a fan of that product, hopefully it will come to a state near you soon. So let's give a shout out to our sales leaders. So with our limited benefit sales, nobody's going to be shocked by these names. As funny as that is, it's Katya, congratulations on taking gold. And then Robert Swander, good job on silver. Carlos, congratulations on taking bronze, leading it in limited benefit sales, doing a really good thing. One of the things that I know these people do is they don't always sell it as just their leading product. Sometimes they sell it as a supplement as well. So if you are not selling it with a short-term or with a major med, take a look at how those benefits would work. Take out the brochure, figure it out. Really good benefits for your clients that way. Our short-term medical shout outs, and hopefully these will grow with all those laws changing with short-term medical and everybody refiling those products. Good job, Katya, taking gold yet again. Dustin Pearson taking silver, and then Wendy Larson there. Congratulations on your bronze. So we did what the tip of the week is. We went through what the trends are. Everything's going pretty healthy, really great increases, and then the sales shout outs. So let's end this one with retention. Okay, one of the biggest things. Why does retention matter? Well, if you don't know this yet, if you are one of those agents who are absolutely one of my favorites that goes, I'm really not sure how I get paid. All I know is I get a lot of paychecks and it makes me happy. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Well, if you want those a lot of paychecks that make you really happy to be better, it's retention. So we actually get paid on retention. I hope everybody knows that. And it's actually one of the largest areas of cancels right after OEP, right? So what happens is, we go through, we do take, these products are really great. You should have a short term over a major medical. Here's why: you're really healthy. You're going to do a lot of savings, right? And then what happens is the client has to either use it once, and there's one benefit about it they maybe don't understand, and then right away they're not happy and they want to cancel it. Okay, so this is one of the areas right after OEPs when we see the most cancellations. I actually do work with one of the retention teams for our carriers, National General there. And so I went through and I'm like, hey, can I pick your brain? How can we make things better? What can we do to improve? They gave me a lot of specifics, so I tried to generalize it a little bit, and hopefully this will help us a bit. So one of the largest areas is right after OEP. They get absolutely slammed with phone calls, starting usually about mid-January to February, with clients saying, hey, I didn't understand this benefit, or that's not how I understood it worked. I want to cancel. I have no idea when these things are getting drafted. So we'll go through some of those. Here's another thing. So people are active and they will talk over holidays. So one of those things is if you were talking to a client who came to you saying, hey, I want an 80-20 plan, and you said, great, I'm going to sell you an 80-20 short-term medical plan, and they don't understand the difference, or they're kind of on the fence. When they're talking to their family, the family's going to say, oh, I had a policy like that. No, they didn't. But they're going to say this. They're going to say, oh, I had a policy like that. I broke my leg and, I wound up with $4 million in medical bills. People are stupid and they will talk during holidays. So one of the things is definitely when we were selling during OEP or when we're doing any of our client follow-up, we need to make sure that our clients are 100% on what we did. That's just going to help increase your retention. I'll give you a few hints here why and how. So the biggest thing is why retention is because we make sure clients have insurance, period, right? The insurance that they actually need, and we get paid. The best part about our jobs is we are helping people and we get to walk away with a paycheck. We are spoiled that way. We have some of the best jobs in the world. All we have to do is, hey, what's your problem? Here's your solution. Bam, there you go. And then what do you know? We get finding paychecks all the time, and those paychecks make us happy. So I'm going to go through 5 quick hints on what you can do to help increase your own personal retention. Some of these are going to be a little specific. Some of them are going to be a little general. So here's the first one. Why do people cancel? Well, one of the first ones was, I asked my agent a question. They either didn't get back to me or they took way too long. Okay. So speed of service, I know that sounds kind of goofy, kind of funny, but speed of service is a huge one on will your clients actually keep the policy. So if they ask a question, either say, hey, you know what? I am not sure. I will need to research that, but let them know that you need to research that. Clients are okay if you say, hey, you know what? I'm not 100% sure. Let me look into that for you. I'm going to contact the carrier on your behalf, right? You're going to do a little legwork and say, I don't have time for legwork. You have time for legwork. You do. Right now, we are during our slow period. I know none of us like to do it. If you don't enjoy legwork, hire an assistant. When do you hire an assistant? Right before you can afford one, because guess what? That person's going to hold you accountable, and really that person's going to be your boss, making sure that you do what you're going to do. Okay. Also, they can help with the speed of service thing. So be a resource, and that's someone that you can educate somebody with, okay? One of the big things is when they ask you a question, know the answer or know where to find it, give them the, hey, you know what, I don't have it right now, but give me a minute and I will find it for you. And that's gonna be a huge one for that. One of the number one complaints is my agent didn't respond or didn't respond in time. It's a huge thing with retention. What people are gonna do is that they're gonna go out, dial another number, and they're either gonna get brought to maybe, let's say, United Healthcare's call center. They're going to press the wrong button and wind up in their sales center. And what do you think is going to happen, right? Not what we want. We want to make sure that we can work with our clients to make sure that they can get the best answers possible. Number one. Number two here, which was pretty popular, was I have no idea how the policy works, right? So they go in, they try to use it, and they don't have a clue. This is actually big on some of the bottom ones I'm going to hit. So how can you make sure that they know how it works? Have them repeat it back or have them tell you a story, okay, right? So one of the biggest things is, what do? We will tell people stories on how things work, right? Well, have them tell you a story on how it works. So you said, hey, John, what? Sounds like this policy is going to be absolutely great for you. Just one more thing. I want to make sure that we're both going to be completely on the same page. So if you break your leg, how's this going to work? And let them go through and repeat it back, okay? Or whatever is important to them. So if you go to the doctor, how's this policy going to work? Okay. Supplements are the most important thing to make sure that they understand. Why? Because they are the most confusing, right? They're confusing for us. When we go through those webinars, we're like, I've been in insurance for 15 plus years, and I have no idea how this supplement is going to work. Okay, you spent 30 minutes with your client on the phone. How are they supposed to know? You wonder why they're canceling it? Because they don't get it. So some of them that we heard a lot of complaints about here is a copay versus a reverse copay. What is a reverse copay? Basically where they're going to get that flat dollar amount, right? So copay, they go in, they pay the $20. The other one is where, they're going to get the network discount. They're going to get $50 and they pay the difference. One of them is because agents are using the word copay when it's not a copay. So please be careful with that. Make sure they understand how the benefits work, especially when it comes to going to the doctors when they bust themselves up real bad and if they have to go get any labs done, okay? And prescriptions if their client's on those. So what's important to them? Make sure that they know how it works. One of the biggest things was when they're sitting there going, what? My client thought it was a $50 copay when they actually got $50 to go to the doctor, and they were wondering why their clients were canceling. We had agents who had literally had clients leave because they didn't get that. So make sure they know how it works, have them repeat it back, make sure that they know what the supplements are, okay? Another reason why is we're gonna talk about it. Why should they know what the supplements are on there? And you're like, well, because when their money gets drafted, right? So if you're selling 3 different carriers, they're gonna get drafted 3 different times, right? Oops, sorry about that, guys. So one of the biggest things too is you touched my money, you messed with it. Ever mess with anybody's money? It never makes them happy, ever. Messing with money, your clients will cancel. So how do you do it? Well, first let them know after. Okay, so you go through, present your product, bam, bells, whistles, everything's going really, really great. Okay, you walk right into the application. And we're gonna go through and we're gonna say, okay, well, client, this is what I want you to do. I want you to grab a pen and paper, and I'm going to go through about how this is gonna look every month when it's drawn out of your bank account, okay? That way it will not be confusing. It is super clear, clearer than mud, luckily. Super clear so they can understand, okay, so, my VBA is gonna get drawn at this time, my NatGen is gonna get drawn at this time, and my UHC is gonna get drawn at this time. Here are the amounts. Have them write it down and put it on the fridge. Why? Because when your client calls you up, and trust me, we've talked about this before, they are gonna call you up, right? They're gonna say, what the heck happened to my bank account? I have 3 different drafts and you said that this was my policy. Okay, Mr. Client, go look at your fridge. So hint for you, have them write it down, make sure that they know what each carrier is. So make sure they know what each carrier is and what it is going to say when they are drafted. That is a huge one. So if you're saying, hey, it's from National General, is it going to say National General? Is it going to say Intercon? What is it going to say when it gets drawn out? So make sure that one. Hint for you as well, schedule out a retention time. If you are not giving yourself at least 30 minutes of doing small retention calls each day, it's going to stack up. I was notoriously bad for this when I first started out. I would stack all my retention calls for Friday because I really wanted just to have a relaxed Friday. And then I would just not want to do it. My clients would cancel. Why? Because I was just getting a little lazy. So one of the things, schedule retention times. Put 30 minutes on your calendar each day. Pull a list. I used to like to do my Mondays for those that went NSF. So those that didn't pay. Those that went and paid a credit card, maybe it bounced. Well, with everything going on right now, people are locking their credit. People are having their cards stolen and canceled. Yeah, these things are going to happen. Your client's going to have their insurance canceled potentially without them knowing. I know a lot of people are saying, I hate calling people and their credit cards bounce because you know what, they may not be able to pay. You know what could be going on too, though, is that they got their card stolen and they had to switch it, and then going through and they have to change everything. They have to change their Hulu, they have to change their Netflix, they have to go through, change their cable provider. You know what? They also have to go through and change their insurance. So be the friend to them, help them out. Just say, hey, you know what? It looks like this didn't, this bounced, it didn't go through. What card would you like to use? Okay. Keep in mind, keep it on each day, keep on track. Also, make sure to do tracking. So either have a CRM, which we've talked about 150 times now, or have a nice Excel spreadsheet just to make sure that you go through, you did the follow-up, you're talking to your clients, right? And you're going to actually schedule the time to do the retention calls, right? Pull your list, go through each carrier and pull your list of those that did not pay, right? Pretty easy to do. If you have any questions on those, a lot of the carriers will have back office training for you on how to pull those lists. And the biggest one is the one that is a nightmare for clients, is make sure that they have the resources they need, right? What do they do if they get injured and they have to schedule a claim, right? They have to actually do a claim. Where can they go? Have a sheet or an email related to each carrier. It's always just kind of nice. You can pre-make those emails. One of the things we talk about is like create templates, make your lives a lot easier. Create a template for each carrier. So if you go through and you tell Nat Gen policy, bam, here's what's going to happen, right? And let them know who to contact with questions, because if not, they're going to just start contacting other sales departments. And we don't want our clients talking to other sales departments. We want them to talk to customer service. They want to talk to the people who are actually going to help. So in that email, make sure that they can contact, say, hey, if you have a question on the policy, always turn to me first. But if you have a question as far as the claim goes, here's a good number to contact. So make sure they have those resources. Well, this is kind of where we're going to be wrapping up, surprisingly, for the year. If you do have any questions, which no one here is too shy about, which I absolutely enjoy, feel free to email training@ahcpsales.com. That goes directly to Tammy and myself. You can always contact agency services if you have a question on a carrier or how to get appointed with anybody. But let's end with a pretty strong quote for the year. So it's not your customer's job to remember you. It's your obligation and responsibility to make sure they don't have the chance to forget you. That is a great one, and I hope that's a good one to end the year on, that it's not their job to remember you. It is your obligation and responsibility to make sure that they don't have a chance to forget you. Be the memorable one, be that resource, be the best agent you can be. And you know what? This job gets just a lot easier. If you do have any questions, please reach out there, training@ahcpsales.com. If not, I just want to say, everybody, thank you for an absolutely fantastic 2017. I know 2018, we're going to be starting off with just some hints right away on how to make it 2018 your best year ever. But if you need anything, obviously we will be around here to help. But have a great end of 2017, everybody. And thank you so much and have a great Monday.